Sports Rewind Digital, we're live. This is a second time live tonight, and this one is a special one. I'm joined by Koshy over in Stonehedge. He's Stonehedge Disc Golf Club. Mate, how are you?
Mate, very well. Good to speak to you.
I couldn't even get any of that out. It was like a first time speaking.
Yeah, mate. It's
very long time indeed. We're trying to figure out when the last time it was, but
yeah, 6 years ago. We were last back down that way. We've got a few rounds in Jessamine Park's got one, mate. Yes, mate. Lots.
Mate, I seen that. And I think a few years ago I talked to you about the disc golf and Jessamine Park. So I think it's a 6 or a 7 hole disc golf course. So
18,
pretty cool.
18
is it?
Yeah, you can. Yeah,
no way.
Different tees. And hilariously, that's where I grew up. I grew up across the road, and it was quite cool to come back and play my local course. Pretty exciting.
There you go, mate. Tell us about it. What is it?
It's a sport, sort of like same rules as golf in a way. You've got different types of discs that you throw. You've got your putters, your mid-range, your fairway drivers, your distance drivers. A few of the young lads coming through, and if you watch the pros, can throw up miles. But a few of the young lads locally, they're throwing. We had an ace on a 110-meter hole the other night from a young lad. Their arms are pretty special. Us old boys haven't got much chance against these young lads.
So you talk about different types of discs. Now, what is it? They weigh different, or they angle different?
It's all different. Yeah, angle different on the disc themselves. They could go up. There's certain putters or things that are sort of concave in the middle on some of them. The more you play, the sort of more you get into it, and the more geeky you become. Like swinging a 34-inch bat with a 27 ounce compared to a 31 to a 29. It's but it's available.
And it goes by feel.
So, yes. Yeah. But you look at those things, and you've got the different types of discs. And you've got the different types. They fly different. Certain discs. As a left-hander, I throw differently to a right-hander. You can throw sidearm, forearm, tomahawks. There's many different ways of throwing them, but they all do the same thing, and we're all trying to do the same thing: get them in a little metal chain as fast as possible, as little score as possible.
So, the old baseballer in me, mate. I go back and throw 40 pitches, and I can't wipe my ass for 2 days. Is it the same in disc golf? Do you get the same sort of?
No, I can't. I can't throw a forehand flick because my shoulder's ruined, mate. I can't throw a baseball or a cricket ball more than 3 foot. Not that I could anyway, but it's different. It's very, very different. And the youngest member of our club is 7, and the oldest acting playing member is 74. So last Tuesday night we had a group of people out playing on a pretty wet, horrible night, and there were still 16 people turned up to actually play, with all varying degrees of competency of throwing a disc. Some are brand new, some are 5-10 year veterans of throwing discs. But on the field, it's different to most sports I've ever played, where everyone is very keen to help each other and to grow the sport and grow what we are and how we are. So it's different, and the competitor in me sometimes from the younger days still rears his head, but most of the time I'm more keen on seeing the things grow and being involved with growing the sport locally. And by us growing it locally, we help grow it nationally. We've got different memberships as the EDGA. That's a big driving force in the UK for the sport. Very sadly, the women's disc golf has disbanded at the end of this year, and that's a shame. But hopefully, the EDGA and clubs like ourselves will carry on that name and that work to get young females, young males, to be able to go out and play a sport on any afternoon. It helps that the 18-hole disc golf course is 15 steps from my front door, so that makes a huge difference in life. But to grow the sport the best way we can, it's pretty cool. And to be able to walk out and play a sport that my wife actually wants to play, across cricket, golf, and baseball, she has absolutely zero interest in and couldn't care less about those 3 sports if she tried. Where she comes out and plays, and we go and play. If we're away on holidays, we book our holidays now, depending on where disc golf courses are in Europe.
Lovely. Mate, one of the big things I get out of what I see on your socials with the club is the social aspect of it. I know coming from baseball background, back when we grew up playing, it was a massive thing to have social events for all the different sports that we played, whether it was cricket, football, baseball, or whatever. Tell us about the community, mate, because every time I see it, I see you're having a barbecue or you're having breakfast or whatever it might be.
Yeah,
Is
mate,
that a big part of it?
it's mate, huge to me. It's the biggest part, and it's the way we grow this sport. And if my livers can be sort of that sort of thing, so as a club, privately and locally, um, we set out as a committee. There's 6 on the committee. We set out to drive our local community in our area forward. And one of the ways that with my background and what I do that I could help was on competition days. I don't need to play, but we can host, and we're lucky we live across the road. So we said, let's do a barbecue. So the committee put together, excuse me, a 5-year business plan for the club that needed some fairly big financial advancement. And through the work that we put in and what we did, we hosted our first club event, added the barbecue to it to be involved, so that everyone after the event or during the event could get a drink, a burger, a hot dog, and actually sit and tell stories and meet each other and
Yeah.
speak to each other about discs, about what you throw, how you throw, and make it's just like baseball, just like cricket. Yeah, we all talk about the bats we use, we all talk about the discs we use, what our favorite plastic is, how this plastic's different. One of the biggest throwers in the club spends a lot of time talking with people about different plastics and different things, but I don't think he realizes that 5 minutes he gives someone makes a difference. So spending that time,
Yeah.
so that grew, mate, and we with all the club's work and the committee's work, our 5-year plan was completed in just under 14 months. We got investment from the local council. We got investment from the European Disc Golf Association. The paperwork and things that went behind that was unbelievable. We've got a pretty driven committee. One of the gents in particular, Ben, has driven this a long way and got a lot of the work in. The course redesign. We've redesigned the course to make it longer, make it more difficult. Throughout that, if I couldn't help, I'd make sure I went across and dropped everyone a can of soft drink or a bottle of water that was out there working their butts off for the club. So the social side is huge, and it brings not just the players in, but the players' family, the players' children, and that's how we grow, mate. And
Yeah.
that's how hopefully this club's got a long history. But the social side is the fun part. When we all talk about how good we were in that hole in one we hit that no one was there to see, but we definitely hit it. We definitely got that hole in one.
Love it. So it's just like any other sport where you're talking crap to each other and bit
Mate.
of bit of sledging.
And if you tee off, mate, and you hit the first tree, there's always a smart ass comment comes from one of us to pick on each other, and that sort of camaraderie. But I think the most important, exciting part is when someone hits their first ace, or someone nails a shot they've been trying, or someone that's new comes along and actually comes now for the 10th time, and they've joined the club, and they're part of that social scene and our Christmas parties and our unsanctioned Christmas round, where it's not sanctioned by the club. Because our insurance wouldn't allow that. But there's drinking on the course, and there's hidden bottles in trees, and if you hit the tree, you've got to have a shot of this, and a little bit of camaraderie that's put around the fun part, because we are bound by certain disc golf laws. Like in baseball, we can't drink on the field in uniform. You can't drink on the field in disc golf.
You can have a coffee mug or something, mate.
Yeah, hip flasks have been seen on occasion on a cold winter's night. Because, mate, the best ones you've probably not seen is our glow league. So we play at night. So it gets dark
Okay.
over here in winter pretty early. So we've all got special discs that glow in the dark. And we have special bags that charge the discs. And, mate, I could bore you for 40 hours on how much fun it is. And you go out there, it's -3. There's ice on the ground. And it's pretty cold. And people drive for our local club. We have people drive an hour, hour and a half to get to play with us each week. So it shows what we're doing and trying to drive this sport, with people in mind is working. But playing in the dark, mate, is pretty special. Someone hits an ace in the dark, and the only thing lit up is each basket and the discs in your hand. Someone hits an ace,
Yeah, right.
it's pretty special. It's good fun. Good fun.
That is pretty awesome. I know. Have you seen the glow baseball that's getting about?
I seen a video the other day. I want to play.
Yeah, they reckon it's actually easier to hit the ball. because
can
it's
see it.
glowing. But anyway,
Yeah,
we'll see.
yeah,
But
yeah.
how often do you get the night games happening?
All winter. So the glow disc is from daylight savings hits and the sunlight drops away, mate. So at 6 p.m. for about 3.5 months, we play glow disc for
Wow.
the night. Every Tuesday is the club's glow league, and it speaks volumes for the club and the sport and the way it's played that on those nights we can still get 18 people out on a -2 Tuesday night out playing in a field playing disc golf.
Wow.
and then the
Mate,
pub's always warm, mate.
yeah, beautiful. How do people get started, Koshi? Is it like a pretty low investment to get
Mate,
started,
very.
or?
It's the cheapest sport I've ever been involved in. So when we started playing in COVID opposite our house with these metal poles that I thought were cattle feeders. Uneducated idiot that I was at the time. Or fast forward 5 years and know what I know and do what we do. Um, we bought these floppy rubber discs from a place that was selling discs that was opening COVID, and we were playing, and a bloke walked past who is the vice chairman of the club. And he said, "Oh, have you got any proper discs?" I was like, "What's a proper disc?" And he actually gave me out of his bag 2 discs and said, "Throw these." Um, but a starter set in the UK is £19.99 from any of the disc golf shops. I think at home they're $24. There's a place in on the Gold Coast that sells a lot of good discs and an Aussie branded discs as well. So you can get a starter set that's got your putter, your mid range, and your driver for 20 quid. Now, our course is free
Wow.
to play. We're very lucky. We have the backing of our local council, but we also support our local council. In my garage sits the ride on, and we get out there and mow the fairways and mow the areas as much as we can. So we're free, and we work very hard to make sure we stay a free course and stay a course. Some courses in the country are £8.50 a round, some are 10, 12. But in this area, we're extremely lucky to have such a big course. It was 18 holes. The council, from what we've done, gave us another area where we put 4 more holes in. So we're now a 22-hole disc golf course. And for 20 quid, mate, that's all it costs you. And you can
Wow.
get out there and play disc golf. And there's an app you get for free. Um, the app scores for free. You can join and become a pro member, which most of us do because it keeps all your stats. And when you hit a hole in one, it keeps it there forever and shows you how good you used to be when you get old.
That's awesome. So anyone can play.
Mate,
Basically,
anyone.
you join up
Anyone.
to the
Yeah.
club, come and have a throw. You said you Tuesday nights. Is there any other do
Every
people just
Sunday, mate.
rock up and
Yeah, you can play the course 24/7. Every Tuesday night is our league night. If you're a member of the club, that is free. Your membership pays for that league night as well. If you're a non-member, it's 3 quid um, for the round. And every Sunday at 10 o'clock, we do Sunday casuals. Now, Sunday casuals is much more relaxed. Normally, we play in a bigger group. You try new discs, you try new things. And if new members come, you one of us will play with that new member and show them the course and show them some discs. On Sunday just gone, one of the groups had one of the gents had brought his 2 kids, and the 2 kids played around, and everyone plays together. It's very social, very relaxed. Um, we have a thing called bag tags, and bag tags work that the best player um, of the day gets the highest tag there on site. So if the one tag's in play that day, the person with the best score gets the one tag that day. And the end of each month, uh, Ben puts out a message for who's got what bag tag, and then over the year, there's the competition for the bag tag winner for who's had the best scores throughout the entire year. Um, so I don't know who won it last year, but he's a pretty good player.
never heard of her?
never heard of her. Haven't never seen her throw. But mate, there's so many things, and on the Sunday casuals, we speak to people on the course every day. The stats speak for themselves from the app that we use. A year and a half ago, it was about 3,500 people playing on that course a year. We've already beaten that this calendar year already, and the numbers are just going through the roof. And we see families out with mum, dad, 2-year-old, 12-year-old, granny and granddad. Everyone's throwing a disc. Everyone's having a bit of fun, getting some fresh air. And the more we grow the sport, mate, the bigger it gets. And they might give us some more land, and we'll throw another 6 holes on there, mate.
Absolutely. How long does it take for a round of 22 holes?
If you're playing a group of 4 or 5, hour 20, hour 35. But all
Yeah.
that depends, mate, on how many trees we hit or how deep you go into the trees. because we've got one of our best hole. I'll try and send you a video that you might be able to put up somewhere. We've got a hole that's 35 meters, I think it is, roughly long, but it is straight down the pine trees. So if you don't throw straight, and it's the 17th hole, mate. So if you're playing the 18 in a comp sort of thing, you can be throwing an amazing score, get to the 17th, and go from -6 to -1 pretty quickly. But yeah, no, yeah. So depending, and then on the competition day, so we've got a black course that we use for our competitions. That'll be 20 holes for our next competition coming up. That'll take about an hour 45, 2 hours, but that's also due to the fact that at times you need to play safe. You can't. Our holes don't crisscross, and when you're throwing a disc at the speed they leave our hands at, if it hits someone across the back of the neck or the cheek, they're going to be cut. Yeah, there's going to be cloud. Going to be close.
Yeah.
But it doesn't.
Do you get sore? Do you get sore from throwing?
Yeah, you do. When you on a sunny Saturday, mate, or a sunny Sunday, when you get out there and you're out there with a group of people like-minded, and you end up playing 3 or 4 rounds, the Monday morning you start thinking, "Oh, what's wrong with me?" And you realise that the left arm across your chest, you think, "Is it a chest pain? I'm having a heart attack?" Or no, I've just thrown 60-odd holes of disc golf.
Love it. I love it.
But mate,
now,
after comps, mate, that's why we introduced the beers after comps. Barbecue and beers, mate, makes all the pain go away.
You got to ice up, mate. You got to ice up.
Yeah. Always ice in the bourbon.
Do you have any interleague or is there any shows close here?
A new one's just started. Unfortunately, it was. I've been able to join into the first two because it's been around things that are happening with our club, or myself and Sarah up country playing in the women's disc golf event that was up in Lamington Spa. But yeah, there's 4 clubs that are currently playing off. That are sort of close to each other are playing off for the title of the best club. So that's pretty exciting and a bit of fun, a bit of competition to sort of the inter-club competition. Then becomes you're playing for your club against other clubs, and everyone wants to win that. No one wants to lose that.
I know. I think last time I was talking to you about disc golf when I was seeing it at Jezzo, so it would have been a couple of years back. You, excuse me, going to I think it was Nationals, possibly, was it? You going to throw? You were going to throw at some big event like a Nationals or something like that. Do you have many in the club that represent the club and go to Nationals?
Yeah, mate. There's the EDGA tour, and there's 4 or 5 members that are constantly playing on those competitions. We're hosting one of those events for the first time later in the year, and there's 4 or 5 guys. And then out of that, you get invited to the sort of end of year finals throws. And there's 2 members last year that went to that, but Craig and Chicky that threw very well. But we've got a competition coming up locally just to sort of show how strong our club is. There's a competition coming up about an hour and a half away near Reading, and there's 72 possible spaces. And out of those 72 spaces, 12 are from our club, all going to throw in the part of the EDGA tour, but there's 12 members from our club going to throw in that, and we should do
that's awesome.
Over the different, and there's different grades, mate. So there's MPO, there's the professional players, and then it goes down in sort of levels, and we've got representation in every single level. There's over 40s, over 50s, ladies competitions, junior competitions, and we represent across the board. So yeah, pretty strong across the South Coast.
Very cool, mate. In regards to penalties and things on the course and ruling about how many discs you can hold, there's certain rules on how many discs you can hold in your bag, or
I've got to be honest, mate. I don't think there's a rule on how many discs you can carry because I carry 7, and I wear a bag over my back, and I throw my bag on my back because I'm too lazy to bend down and too old to pick it up anymore. But no, mate, that you can carry as many discs as you can carry, as far as I'm aware. But out of bounds, there's OB lines, rules about if you're in the circle, you can't jump putt. You have to, where your disc lands, you can put a marker in front of your disc, and then you need to stand within an A4 piece of paper behind that disc to make your next throw. Out of the OBs, you have to go back to where it entered the area, a penalty stroke on that. So on a good day, you can be playing very well you hit a few trees and you go from being the hero to 0 pretty quick. But everyone's at our club on competitions, the rules there we played for, and on a Tuesday night, the rules there we played for. But on a Sunday, you're out playing for fun. If someone's in a prickly bush, you don't want to go to work on Monday bleeding because you're playing disc golf for fun. So I'm one for
Yep.
the rules on a Sunday. We need to practice them, but it's also meant to be a bit of fun, and no one should get hurt. Nothing worse than missing a day's work because you've got a thorn through the side of your hand. You have to go for surgery.
Yeah.
Not worth it. But yeah, the rules are very similar to disc golf, to stick golf, mate. Very, very similar
Yeah.
with the same sort of rules. But the discs for competition have to be PDGA rated, which is the American, well, the worldwide ruler of disc golf rules. They have to be
Yeah.
approved. Those discs have to be approved. You can't just print one of your own and go and throw it on a course. It has to be regulated and done within the
Yeah.
rules. Like putting cork in your bat, not allowed, mate.
Allegedly, it's not allowed.
Yeah,
But,
that's right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, depends what club you're from, I suppose.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Mate, what's coming up for the club? Anything exciting coming up?
So we've got the Inter-Club Championships coming up, which is club members only, a competition within the club. And on the day, we have handicaps. They were released this week. So the highest rating is 0. And I think it was pretty exciting speaking with Ben the other day about the handicaps that are coming out. Across the 0 to 2 handicaps is a spread of about 6 to 8 people. So it's pretty close, and you know, everyone wants the 0, and then you can have a couple of good rounds and go back to 0, and then you can have a couple of bad runs and go back to 1 or 2. But in our club competition coming up, there's a straight up competition and a handicap competition. We also have the inter-club handicap competition where you're drawn against like a cup, and you play through the cup, and there's 2 sides of the draw, and it's played on handicaps. So I think mine came out yesterday on a 1 handicap. Well, if you're playing someone with a 12 handicap, you still got to beat them. So they already start 11 shots in front of you. So you're trying to catch that person. And last year it was so close, even down to the final. Most games went to within 1 shot. So the handicaps work, and Ben puts a lot of work in to do that for the club and for all of us to enjoy. And then we've got our first ever EDGA event coming up in September, where we're looking at sort of over 70 players coming to the local course. Again, we'll feed and water them, mate. The entry fee to the competition includes a few special things. We're in talks with a local brewery to rename a beer for us for the day. We've got sponsorship from Ramsey Healthcare, which is, I don't know how we got that sponsorship through an Aussie company with an Aussie working for them. But that sponsorship's happening. The local council have been involved and are giving us an electronic scoreboard. The local ice cream man is going to come and he's going to donate 20% of all his take to the club. So little things, mate. A couple of exciting things coming up, and then we move into the winter period with glow disc, and then the Christmas party, which is always a pretty popular one. A couple of rounds of golf and a night out together, all talking again about the shot no one's seen you make that was over 500 meters long in a tailwind.
Oh, I love it. I love it. How does someone get involved, Koshy? How can we send them to
so for
club?
us locally, mate? For us locally, jump on Facebook and look up Stonehedge Disc Golf Club. Put an application into there, and then you have to be pre-approved because I won't lie to you. There's 4 or 5 of us that do the approvals. We've made a mistake and approved some people, and the next day all over your Facebook page is some girl not dressed. So we have to be careful at times who we let in. But it's not a negative thing. It's just we don't want that thing on our family-friendly Facebook page. But yeah, join the Facebook page. If you can't get on that and they can get through you, flicker my way on any sort of social media. But yeah, the best way is on Facebook. Mate, join the club, and then everything we do is on there. And we try and advertise things as much as we can. We're heavily involved with the local community, with the local council. We've got an event coming up, the Super Fate coming up, and we've got a stand at that. And we set up we donate all the prizes, and it's distance wise, and people try and throw the putters from furthest away, and the more points. So we're heavily involved with the local community. So that's coming up in a few weeks' time, actually. And last year, that's seen us gain about 6 to 8 members. Now, it doesn't sound like a lot, but for a club like us to gain 6 to 8 members that are now active members from just a small event like that, So we're there again.
Yeah.
And then that again, mate, as you could probably guess, when that closes, it turns into a social. We normally back to my place and sit in the front garden and have a few beers looking at the golf course.
Lovely. Love it, mate. Good to catch up. Thanks again. And
Pleasure, mate. No, pleasure.
I look forward to seeing some of this glow disc action, mate.
Mate, it's good fun. It's good fun.
I'm going to have to go and look on YouTube to have a look to see where
have a look,
it's happening.
Yeah. Fantastic, mate.
Anyway.
Lovely to speak to you.
No worries, Koshy. Take it easy, mate.
Cheers, mate. Cheers, mate. Bye.
All right.